Yo, what's happening? Let's get this party started. Mic check, mic check. Mm, twist my hat a little bit. What's happening? Feel like I'm just now waking up. I'll give y'all the opportunity for everybody to get up on here. Got two eyes on me. Got two eyes on me. I know what y'all thinking. Like, hey, my boy is in here early. I'm in here early. I'm in here early, y'all. We kind of got like a little short show. I don't want to talk too much. I don't want to take too much of y'all time. But for those that's coming in here, go ahead and let me know where you are viewing or listening from in the chat. People gonna pull up. People gonna pull up. They gonna show themselves, expose themselves, pause. But yeah, for those that don't know, this is your boy the Lochness. I was trying to go into my little media package, you know what I'm saying, my little accent package. And I'm like, well, we got some color changes in here, so I ain't really want to change the colors and do all that stuff. We rock with the orange. I already know we rock with the orange, but I'm kind of digging the clash right there with the blue. That's more like purple, like I don't know. That's not the normal. We just gonna keep it. We gonna keep it a book. Um, but yeah, like I said, this is the Lochness. Let's talk about it with the Lochness. Taking over for the Ladybirds. Of the AFN. They're not having a show today. So, of course, when they don't have a show, your boy slide into their docket, slide into their pocket. You know what I'm saying? To go ahead and have my show. So I just got a couple of conversations I want to have. Nothing too deep. Nothing too deep. Um, some of the things I want to address is, free agency. And, who do we cut? Who do we sign? So let's get the show started. Hey, welcome in to the Lochness. Let's talk about it with the Lochness on Tuesday. Slotted at the 8 o'clock, 8:05 time. This is your boy. I am the Lochness. I'm the show host. And as you can see, hey, we lit, we live, we out here. You know. So the topic of today is who does the Atlanta Falcons cut or resign? Just pretty much just what it is. Like cut and dry. Cut and dry. Rise up. Rise up. It's like who does the Falcons resign, cut, or resign? I'm not one of those type of people that I don't like be married to any of these players. From my understanding, we gotta start putting our best foot forward. A lot of people don't understand that, like we can't be married to players. You know, so as much as we hate to see it, but the best interest of the brand. It's like I said, it's a business, so they're gonna always go with the best interest of the brand. Let me move my mic back. My mic might be too loud. Um, yeah, so that's pretty much what it is. And like, if you haven't subbed to my channel, The Lochness from the Lochness Podcast, not just on AFN, just go to my channel on YouTube, The Lochness Podcast. Hit that notification bell, sub, hit the thumbs up, so all of my content can get into the universe of YouTube algorithm, and we can get this thing popping. But yeah, so I just really want to just address a couple of things that I feel like I done heard a few people speak on it, and I was thinking the same thing. Like, we have number one without mentioning, we already know we're trying to Kirk Cousins. And from what I hear, the Cardinals are interested in Kirk Cousins, if I'm not mistaken. The Arizona Cardinals are looking into Kirk Cousins, or possibly Kirk Cousins going back to the Vikings. You know, familiarity is what they say. Like when you're familiar with somebody, different coaches, you play with different coaches. And I talked about it on one of my early shows. Um, get Falcons set right. So I talked about it on one of my early shows where um, Stefanski was bringing in people he was familiar with. When you have, and I spoke on that when you have a collaborative effort, you want to collaborate with people that bring value to the room. They bring value to the room, and it's less confrontational, it's less egos. We deal with a lot of that in the music industry where I can be in a room with different, other producers, and everybody like, oh, I like them drums, I like this, I like that, do this, and you like, oh, okay, that does sound, and there's no egos there. I think that's what the ideology behind why Stefanski brought in a Tommy Reese, um, and trying to bring in people he's already familiar with. So it's going to work, um, in that sense of making it less egotistical, um, more engaged with, everybody having a voice, everybody having a voice that can be heard, you know. Um, you said locked in with my dog the law. You feel me? Hey, gotta tell somebody. Somebody has to know about it. But so yeah, like I said, the show today is like who does the Atlanta Falcons cut or resign? So I want to talk about one. I want to talk about the resign first. I want to talk about the resign first. Um, we always talked about. I'm gonna go ahead and get the elephant out of the room. Let's talk about this. If we franchise tag Kyle Pitts for another year, we can still also trade him for assets for the next year. That's the thing that can work too. We can franchise tag you, and I think Locked On Falcons spoke on this a little bit, where we can franchise tag Kyle Pitts and retain him, and then still offer him up to get additional assets for the next following year instead of losing him for nothing. But the way I see it, I'm a little, I would say a little conflicted, you know, where I feel like if you gotta sign him and let him, move along. I mean, if you think about it, it's a lot of it's a lot of nice tight ends in this free agency pool right now. Kyle Pitts is one of the most attractive names. Dude from the Eagles, even likely is like another athletic tight end. Goddard, I think, is this Goddard from the Eagles? Yeah. Um, it's a few like it's a few tight ends. So we're not gonna really get so much love from tight end. So that's why it's like I think he's franchising to work on a deal, but it's a great deal comes along. Yeah, so that's another thing. What people don't understand is he might not accept the tag. He might be like, nah. He might be like, nah, I don't want to, I don't want to prove what I've already proven. You know what I'm saying? I want this chip. I want the money on right now. And he might not feel like I want to wait for my money. I don't want to. I can go get what y'all gonna probably give me after this year. Because you got to think about it too. If we go get somebody like a David Njoku, is a better version of Kyle Pitts. He still has an athleticism like Kyle Pitts. Both of them being hurt. You can't be like he was hurt. Kyle Pitts was hurt, whatever. And then you think he's a better blocker. And I would say he's a better version of Kyle Pitts as far as the position go, as far as tight ends go. He's a better tight end. He's a pure tight end. He's not asked to do too much. He's not asked to run down, but run down outside the numbers and try to catch a pass, catch a slant and try to take it to the house. He's asked to be a tight end. Tight ends are those intermediate routes, the inside routes. they're like the second option to the check down. They're like the first option after the check down. So one, you got boom, you got your tight end, right? That's going to do the intermediate routes above the check down. The check down is just the safety, the show. Okay, I got a few yards here. Boom, let me go ahead and get those 2-3. So and then David Njoku actually can block. I just want to see Kyle Bijan Drake with an offensive minded head coach who has a vision. With that being said, of course, that's one of the reasons why you would keep a Kyle Pitts, because he does make your offense more dynamic. And we do have somebody like Stefanski and a Tommy Reese, and then that develops tight ends. So he might just need tight end development. So he can bring in a veteran like Njoku that's been in the game, and who can show him like, hey, yeah, do this, do this, and then you have a Njoku, a Kyle. I swear to you, this is my mindset. I think we're gonna start running dual tight ends, because you're gonna have, like I said, you're gonna have a surefire blocking tight end, and then you're gonna have an athletic tight end who's a hybrid tight end in Kyle Pitts, where his athleticism kind of put him in a receiver-esque hybrid tight end. So that's why I was saying moving Kyle Pitts as a wide receiver. That's another thing. Like if you're gonna move Kyle Pitts to a wide receiver role, and then you will have surefire a wide receiver 1 and a wide receiver 2 in Kyle Pitts and Drake London. So we wouldn't have to draft. We wouldn't have to go. We wouldn't have to go heavy on a draft. But I still want Zachariah Branch, because, like I said, Zachariah reminds me of a Bijan Robinson in a wide receiver form, because he still got the shiftiness like Zach, and Georgia. You feel me? Njoku understands the offense better than Kyle. He would help Penix and Drake understand the route concepts. Exactly. So that's why I said, even when I heard Locked on Falcons, shout out Locked on Falcons, go check them out. He said, refranchise tag Pitts while we come up with a deal and still trade him off for assets for the next season. So you wouldn't just leave, like, because he's still, with that tag, he's still gonna come up with 17, 18 per year for 3 years. I mean, it's ways like I said, most of the time when people get their bread, bro, they stop. They don't really. Some of us don't really work as hard as others, if it makes sense. They say share this out. Yeah, share this content out. You know what I'm saying? Tell your peoples about it. Tell them that the Lochness is in here, man. So, but like I said, at the end of the day, I don't have a problem with keeping Kyle Pitts. I do have a problem with, well, I can say I don't have a problem with keeping him. I'm kind of on the fence whether he stay or he don't. And it has nothing to do, and I like bringing this up. This has nothing to do with me trying to hand him my Kyle Pitts jersey. His dude is like, I wouldn't even say 2 feet away. Like, dude is like, the gate's right here. Kyle Pitts is like right there. It's like, here's my microphone right here. Like, you can't even see it, but here's my microphone thing. Like, see this right here? Kyle Pitts is probably like right behind my microphone, just standing there, signing some little kid something. I got my jersey in my hand. I'm like, Kyle Pitts, bro, go ahead and sign this for me. I'm only signing kids. Like, I bring that up all the time because I was like, broski, I got your Pitts Ricky. As soon as they drafted you, I got your Pitts Ricky jersey, bro. I just need you to sign it so I can put it up here on the wall, my boy. Locke, do you think Callahan is gonna bring him his type of player on the O-line this offseason? I think he's gonna bring a center. I think they're gonna bring a center. I think they're gonna bring a center and draft an O-lineman, even if it's an interior O-lineman, and then move Bergeron to take Jake Matthews' spot, and then move somebody in the inside where Bergeron was. I really think they're gonna sign See, we getting ahead of ourselves. They're gonna sign some O-line help. I would really want them. They're gonna sign some O-line help. I think Mad Mike touched on the possibility of us picking the dude from the Patriots. And then you think about, even when you're talking about, so we jumping ahead of ourselves. So even when you talk about the Patriots, after losing the Super Bowl, they got some disgruntled defensive people that feel like, hey man, we held our own, and but whatever. I just feel like even when it comes to Kyle Pitts, I just feel well. Let me dissect this Callahan right quick first. So Callahan, you got to get people that's coachable. So even if you go into the free agency, you get coachable guys that still can be coached. Some people can't be coached. Some people are, hey, I've been in the game for this. And then you got some people that are like, hey, coach me up. Pull out my full potential. Pause. But understanding, the value I bring, bring out my best, but I really think Callahan, they're probably got people in the scout room, bringing them all types of people that's looking at what Callahan, asking Callahan, what type of people do, what are the things that you look at, footwork, club, guys that can, push the pocket outward, strength, like what do you look at, body, big, like size, pause. So I think they're gonna just give him scenarios where, okay, this is the free agent pool. Who you see in free agency? Okay, this is the draft pool. Who you see in the draft that's standing out to you? Because there's some guys in the draft too that's that did their thing too. And then you gotta remind yourself that McGarry's coming back for his 2 years. So he's just gonna go back over there beside Lindstrom, and then Jake Matthews. It's just getting too long in the tooth. That's what they say, right? So that's what I want to. After that, I really want to talk about, like, on the dotted line, who we signing on this dotted line, who we like. We got a healthy full of free agencies, and there's like noticeable ones. Of course, Kyle Pitts. Do we want Kyle Pitts back? Yes or no? His production, he's just inconsistent to me. That's what I was saying. I was on the fence about him because I would see him catch 2 or 3 passes in the game, and then we won't see him anymore. And I was just like, I wasn't really feeling that. Caden Ellis, David Onyemata, and Leonard Floyd. D. Alford, Bradley Pinion, Tyler Algier. I'm pretty sure we're gonna sign Zane Gonzalez. He did his thing. Easton Stick, yeah. Arnold Ebiketie. We might can bring Arnold Ebiketie back just because of the JPJ situation. Ebiketie was, but the year prior to JPJ was our leading sack guy, I believe. So bringing him back just puts us with, like, we can continuously have this. But see, this is the thing. we got to think about this is a new regime. This is a new culture change. This is new front office, new coach, new GM, new president of football, um, new coaches on special teams, new coaches, new line coach. Like they revamped like almost everything except Hubert or Obert. Um, so we got to understand too, like people we would think like, oh, well, let's keep Algier. They might be like, yeah, we got a lot of running backs. We got a lot of running backs out there. You know, go let Algier go be a number one, and then we pull somebody. You know what I'm saying? Hey, go let Kyle Pitts go. You know, well, he showed me he get lost in games, really lost in plays, not showing any effort, not blocking. You know what I'm saying? They might be like, oh, give us Goddard. You know what I'm saying? They might, it's let's bring in David Njoku. Let's bring in this. Like I said, it's gonna be interesting because we're gonna probably shift into a different type of team. I always felt like we was gonna be a passing team that can run, but then it was like, oh, we're gonna focus on Bijan, and then we're gonna, still lead with Bijan. But at the end of the day, I really think it's gonna be a passing team that can run. This is a new everything. Isn't a change GM or Matt Ryan is the guy defining the team going forward. We ain't never had that. Man is a dog. I don't care what anyone says. Yeah, absolutely, Mikey B. Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's hard to say. Like, we can be like, oh, we can keep Onyemata. Let's keep Caden Ellis. They might be like, nah, we can, slide him on out the way. Troy Anderson can go. Braylon Trice can go. You know what I'm saying? You ain't even made it to the field. You know what I'm saying? It's so much that's unknown because they can wow you with words. Anybody can sit in the presser and be like, yeah, we're going to focus. We're going to be physical. We're going to execute. We're going to do this. We're going to run and pound the ball. We're going to pass over the top. It sounds good, but if you don't coach these players and come up with schemes and game plans and plays to offset the opposition where this makes sense and you're actually executing it in real time on the field, it's just words. So, but I understand everything that we have had in the last 8 years of having losing seasons, all of that is gone. And it's just like, hey, what type of sandwich you want? Oh, you want the turkey? Okay, we're making the turkey. Oh, you want to change the meatball? We take, boom, say less. We're going to, so we're getting everything's different. Matt more competitive and has a winning mentality other than anything we ever had before with ownership. Yeah, I seen Matt Ryan being a part of this organization way before this. I seen him as a quarterback coach at first. But as he was on, what was it, CBS or whatever, it's like seeing him analyze the game and talk. And I know they got like earpieces, they give them talking points and stuff like that. But he does seem like somebody that's dissective of the plays and players and offenses and defenses. And then you have that type of mentality. And like I said, the best quarterback we've had and like that's legendary. You just went to the Ring of Honor, and then a couple of years later, you're the president of football, man. And then they're hanging your jersey in the rafters. It's crazy. And then when you had that Super Bowl run, you had one of the most potent offenses, fifth best offense in the history of the NFL. So, in a no nonsense guy, from what I've heard, and understanding, a winning culture, understanding how it looks to have great players, how it looks to say, and he's saying all the like, we don't know in the eyes of the public when they go in front of these cameras. I can tell you all day, I can wow you and talk to you and stuff like this, but I've did research. You know what I'm saying? I've studied stuff. I can hit you with numbers. You're like, dang, Lochness knows a lot about football. Some of the stuff I don't know, but I'll learn it because I study and I got my key points, my key talking points in front of me. So when I do like when they're in front of the media, they're gonna say, "Oh yeah, Stefanski is gonna, you know, Stefanski is gonna make the calls, and he's gonna like, oh, this person gonna do this person gonna do that." But the understanding that honestly, all collectively, they all have to mesh. Every cog in the machine has to turn to make the machine work. You feel me? If that makes sense. So Ian Cunningham, Matty Ice, Stefanski, even the coaches that they brought in, everybody's gonna have to move. The cogs, no matter how minute the cog is, it still has to move to make the machine work. Pitts is top 5 in yards out of all tight ends in the league the last 5 years. Njoku has less than 1,000 yards than Pitts, and he's been in the league since 17. Stop it. So what am I stopping? That Kyle Pitts is a hybrid tight end that is also you guessed it, a wide receiver. So what am I stopping? He doesn't run intermediate routes like a tight end, but Njoku does. And then you got to understand, and this is what you need to stop. Understand the dynamic of both teams. Pitts had to be Pitts because nobody else was doing anything. And Njoku wasn't asked to be like Njoku wasn't asked to be LeBron. Pitts was asked to be Pitts. Ask yourself why Pitts be gone, Pitts be disappearing when a Drake London's out there. Bro, I've seen Kyle Pitts catch the ball 3 times, and that was it in the game. Like I'm not discrediting Kyle Pitts, but let's be 100%. He doesn't block. Njoku blocks. He's a pure tight end. I'm not saying that Kyle Pitts is not like he's not the best. Like he's not the best. Like he's like I'm not saying that Kyle Pitts is the best. It's just that bro been missing in games. That's inconsistency. You know what that reminds me of? A great employee comes into work. They be busting out all the work you want them to do. They do all their stuff they want to do. Whatever you need them to do, they completing it. They stand late if they have to, but you guess what's wrong with them? They never come to work on time. You know what they don't think about? They not coming to work on time. You know what they said when Kyle Pitts had that 3 touchdown, 166? What was this all year? I can't make that up. I've seen this man run down the field lackadaisical. I can't make that up. It's like I said, it's like a Grady Jarrett situation to me, where if I can pay 2 other people to give me the same production as you. What are we talking about? You can't replace Pitts. He draws attention with what gets other guys open. So if that's the case, we can't pay him the top dollar to be a decoy. I would say, like, I'm not saying get rid of him. I said if you tag him, and this is what I'm saying since we're talking about Pitts. I said that's the reason why we got our head coach that's a tight end who develops tight end. Tommy Reese, they develop like tight ends. I didn't say like completely get like you have to exercise options. I said if we had Kyle Pitts, maybe you need to go back to the beginning of my show. We had Kyle Pitts that have a more dynamic offense. Absolutely. I think Matt looks at Kyle Pitts and says, yeah, you can keep a guy that like that. I mean, hell, you know who Matt Ryan was throwing to his first year? Kyle Pitts. Like, what are we talking about? When Kyle Pitts had that monster year, because we didn't have nobody to throw to but Kyle Pitts. He's ball demanding. Pitts draws so much attention. We thought Ray was always open until Seals got TD that used me more than blocking. He's missing. They're gonna use Bijan. He didn't go missing. They go to Bijan way too much, bro. I saw it in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. 8 games. I saw it in like, bro. I'm looking at him. He went missing. it's not and it's and there's no shade to him. It could be the play caller. It could be the dynamic of the offense. It could be that we had play callers that didn't know what they was doing and didn't know what. And that's a lot of stuff that can factor it in. That you can factor in. I'm not like boneheaded, just thinking like, oh, should get rid of Kyle Pitts. He's trash. Like I'm not boneheaded. It's a lot of things that play a part. Like I say, the most minute cog affects the machine. Every machine has to move. Our offense, regardless of what, was bleak, lackluster. Even with Drake London, Pitts, Mooney, all of them out there. Even with Bijan out there, they asked for Bijan because he was the most consistent. And then Drake London was having a career year until he went down. So it's not. I'm not boneheaded to be like, oh, fuck Kyle Pitts, get rid of him. He said Njoku has a broke leg and he's 30. Kyle Pitts has a messed up leg as well. That means nothing. That means people can come back from injury. That's what the medical staff is for. And then sometimes some people have to come back through here. And I said this in one of my shows. I like having conversations like this because it makes my cogs in my brain go. If we're saying what somebody did last year or years prior, which is bad, it affects them in the future. That means if you're saying Njoku is trash or Njoku got this or Njoku got that, you remember, like I said, when we used to try to go after Clint Kubiak, look at what he's doing with the Seahawks. We want Clint Kubiak as our head coach. We wasn't screaming Clint Kubiak's name when he was with the Saints, and he was trash then. It's variables that we have to consider. We might get with Kyle Pitts and be like, look, bro. Like I said, I said we're gonna run 2 tight end setups where we would keep Kyle Pitts, bring in Njoku. Njoku runs the intermediate routes and be a definite tight end, and move Kyle Pitts to the outside to be our wide receiver too. Is what I said. And then Njoku can block. Because Charlie Warner, he's not catching anything. He's just used to block. But then again, you never know. With this new regime, they might even, hey, Charlie, you're a good blocker. You know, it was just that a lot of the things that we seen, they were just doing all year. Oh, they got Charlie Warner on motion. He's gonna block for Bijan or Algier. It was like too basic. So that's why it's a lot of things that's gonna change. It's just that we don't know how they're gonna change. They might say, hey, let's get rid of this guy. Let's keep Algier. Let's get rid of Algier. We don't know. Yes, I agree. The play calling was a huge factor for Kyle Pitts. Is underperforming. Yeah, because they was like, hey, get him the ball more. You know what happens when they was like, hey, get Kyle Pitts the ball, and when they had Eminem throwing to him, and he threw in the middle, and he threw a slant route in the middle and got hit, and he got hurt. Eminem is Marcus Mariota. That's what I call Marcus Mariota. Eminem. So, yeah, and it was just the play designs. It was the concepts. It was lackluster. That's why they brought in all of these pass catcher coordinators, these people that understand the logic between executing the different jump points, the different execution, the 5-step, the presses, the jamming, or getting behind the zones, when the soft zones, and understanding the seam routes, out and in. All of this stuff plays around with the pass catching coordinator, along with the offensive coordinator. And then you take that mindset where they're trying to get us more explosive plays. So when you think about more explosive plays, I don't think us getting rid of Kyle Pitts is going to make that dynamic better, because we got somebody that's already proven. But the thing is with him, and they have to development, which every player needs development. Every player needs development. I'm just saying, like, if we pay Kyle Pitts, I can see him getting 18 a year, spread that out for 3 years, give him some incentives and then some bonuses and this, and go ahead with it. And then Njoku is just a budget friendly. You want people that's already like familiarity, where like I said about the coaches, that's why he's bringing in people that he's already worked with, because it's familiarity. Where I'm familiar with you, I can talk to you. Hey, this is my ship. I just want you to be a mate on my ship. I need you to do this on the ship. You know what I'm saying? Um, and it's easy. Like I said, it won't be no egos. It won't be no hey. It won't be no. Like we just seen the Ike Hilliard and Ray McLeod incident where I'm pretty sure egos was flared, and you can't speak your voice, and then some people like, hey man, you can go home. So that's why I feel like you're bringing in people, and then you look at just the coaches that have been brought in, and everybody that has been brought in. Do you? And I asked this before. Do you think a Raheem Morris would be able to assemble what just been assembled just these few weeks of the old regime being fired? Do you think even if we kept Raheem and everybody else left except Hubert or Olbert, besides the defensive coordinator, do you feel like a Raheem Morris can bring in a Bill Callahan? You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people, a lot of people don't like some of the choices that we made as coaches because they're going off past performance. You're paid from past performance, but like if that's the case, one situation over here doesn't dictate what's going to happen over here. Have you ever? I always used to say this. What's up, my boy? The new era is here. Rise up and stop. Stoop and stop. Stop. Okay. So I always used to say this. When I worked at Walmart, everybody who left Walmart did better. Because I felt like it was a hamster wheel. It was a hamster wheel. It was doing the same thing. Years and years and being unhappy. This job. And then when we went, everybody I've seen after Walmart have done better because what did Walmart do? Walmart groomed us to be able to take a heavy load and workhorse us to a point when we go to other jobs that's not required for us to workhorse, but we have been instilled how to work like that, and we're just busting through stuff. People look at us like, what? Whoa, like that's crazy. That's how it is when it comes to coaching and players. After you've instilled certain things in them, they carry it on to another job to perform better. They steer it like, and that's just what it is. What's happening? Like, so at the end of the day, what was that? At the end of the day, people need to understand that is these coaches are going to bring out the better of players, and they're going to create what we're going to be having the next 3 to 5 years. Like we got to get out of our mindset that we have a whole new regime. We don't know what this is going to be. It's going to be different from what we've seen the last 2 years. It's going to be different from what we've seen the last 3 years, and hopefully be different from what we've seen the last 3 years for that, because that was 8 years of failure. And I hope we understand that. So I hope we understand that we've seen 8 years of failure. So what I was saying on the dotted line, we need to go ahead and Caden Ellis is a no-brainer. Anya Mata. So if we keep in Kyle Pitts, Caden Ellis, Anya Mata, we need space eaters. Anya Mata, he has spurts. He has spurts where he's good, he's awesome, and then there's times where, you know what I'm saying? So that's where the defense, that's where Hubert comes in at. Hubert is gonna probably sit down and say, okay, who do we need? Do we need to go younger? Do we need to go space eaters? Do we need, who do I need? So it's a lot of stuff that can happen. Oh, we losing JPJ. So, but you think about it, JPJ, he's not really paid that much. So, hey, we can go get, another defensive end, It's like, but do you want to get a veteran presence? They say Bradley Chubb was let go or whatever the case may be. Leonard Floyd, He was pretty decent. He was significant. He probably doesn't cost as much. Leonard Floyd had his moments. Morning, all my brothers and sisters. Hope y'all are doing well. We all here. We chilling. You feel me? Oh, okay. I'm like, what is that? What's up? We are the thrill. What's happening? We are the thrill. Doing good, amigo. Just hanging out with the fam. Troy Anderson. Also when he was hurt, but we didn't see him. Braylon Trice, Jesus. So some people we got to sign. I mean, franchise and tagging Kyle Pitts, go ahead. Caden Ellis, go ahead and resign. Anya Mata's up in the air to me. Leonard Floyd's up in the air to me. D. Alford, he has spurts. So it's like, and it's all about, like I said, the coaching staff too. They might go look at film, or they might have a guy that they think. They might be like, okay, this guy's good. What you think about this guy? Because you think about it like this, they can go younger, or they can go snatch people that's on other teams. This is it's a lot that can happen. It's a lots of stuff that can happen. It can be some restructuring of contracts. It can be, it's a lot that can happen. I really just think, and if we was to, and I know Ian Cunningham was talking about, I guess he's going to give up a third round draft pick and go get some more draft picks in the later rounds. I honestly believe it's all about what we need. Like, ask yourself, what's the positions that we need right now? We know we need wide receivers. You can get wide receivers in the later round. I will let Trey Anderson go. The best ability is availability. Unfortunately, he wasn't available. So Troy Anderson. Troy Anderson. Troy Anderson, Braylon Trice. Braylon Trice, but that's damn. That's he was a good, and with a JPJ leaving, yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. We might as well let Trice go then, or we can be like, you know what, Trice, so we just lost JPJ. Hey, this is your opportunity, my boy. This is your opportunity, my boy. Because when we got him, we were like, hey, we finally got defensive end, we got pass rush, and then he got hurt. We ain't seen him since. So maybe this is opportunity, a blessing in disguise, man. When one door opens, another one. When one door closes, another one opens. So maybe this is opportunity. But then, like I said, the new regime might be like, "Hey, you ain't made it to the field. You ain't made it to the field." Or they might got people, because you got to think about it. Also, these coaches, they're tied to other players. They might be like, "Hey, my boy, what can I do? What we got to do to get you down here?" It's a lot of free agency. Is this one thing about signing everybody? It's the one thing about signing everybody, but we also got to think about, the one thing about, stop the bleeding. I'm talking about. We got to cut. We got, we get cuts, man. We got to stop the bleeding, man. We got to stop these players from bleeding us some money. And they talked about, as you can see on if you came in here, my thumbnail was Darnell Mooney. If we don't cut Darnell Mooney, he can also be like a trade candidate for some stuff. He can be a trade candidate for a couple of late round picks or something. He can get, like, I believe Darnell Mooney can get like a 3 and a 4, or a 3 or a 4, or a 4 and a 6, or 4 and a 7 or something, like, what I'm saying. I feel like he can get like an extra pick or something, extra pick or two, a 5 and a 6 or something. like with a Darnell Mooney, because it's like, do you think we can like there's in free agency? There's others. There's a lot of people. There's some wide receivers available that's already tenured. That already got they got their wings already. They already been with with the NFL for quite some time. So it's not going to be difficult to come off these players. But assign these players, they just have to look at Atlanta as a. I mean, of course, people want to get paid, but they also got to look at Atlanta as an opportunity for them to grow. And then you also got to sell them a dream of that this is going to be a contender. And then there's also, you think about, man, the NFC South is one of the weakest divisions. So we just need, you're going to get some players because, we need a wide receiver too. We need a wide receiver 2, 3, 4, 5. Because the wide receiver room was dismal when Drake London went down. And the only person who showed up was Kyle Pitts. Because Mooney, he was hurt, then he wasn't hurt. It was like it was so much. It was crazy on so much. It was just a bad season. The team was hurt. The head coach was trash. The offensive coordinator, he didn't know what he was doing. It was just all around. And then Terry Fontenot hit on damn near every pick we had. It was just that, okay, we moved up to get JPJ. And you see what happened with that. So, well, yeah. So who do we cut? Who do we cut? Said Darnell Mooney. I think Chat Sports Falcons. I think it was Chat Sports. They talked about Mooney, Warner, Clark Phillips, Mike Hughes. I heard all three of them names. Mike Hughes, Charlie Warner, Clark Phillips, and that can open up opportunity for damn near 40. I want to say 46, 47 million maybe. We're just moving them 4 people, 46, 45 million, and available money on. And you can get some guys, and then like the thing is, like I said, we have to win in free agency, y'all. We have to win. Like, when we used to say the Falcons ain't gonna make no moves, they ain't gonna do nothing, they ain't gonna do. That whole mindset needs to be gone because this is something different. They might be like, hey, let's go get Pickens. They might be like, hey, let's go get Pickens. Let's go get Ward. Let's go get this person. Let's go get Chubb. Let's go get, they might be like, hey, let's shore up our, our skill positions, and then draft for some hopefuls. Because if you got a surefire number 2 CB2, you don't have to draft a surefire CB2. You can get like some depth in the draft. It's cheap. If you surefire a good, a good nose tackle and another tackle or 2 or somebody like that, some space eaters, then you can draft some guys that you can coach up. That's what we understand. Like, we gotta win with you want to get a mixture of players that are already tenured as vets, that's already been in the league, that still got tread on their tires. So when we go to the draft, we don't have to be looking for the super high end person. You know what I'm saying? We can be like, okay, we can get the best person on the board for what we need. You feel me? I still think a Zachariah Branch, a Surratt, it's a few other people. It's some nice receivers there. And some nice corners there too. But you still got Kobe Bryant, still need to be coached up doing his thing. They just hired. I heard they hired a special teams guy, Blackburn. Y'all know anything about Blackburn? I have to look him up. A wide receiver, CBDT. for sure. So when I did my mock drafts, the wide receiver that I took was either Surratt, or Zachariah Branch. It was Zachariah Branch or Surratt as my wide receiver. I took them my second pick, my first pick in the second round. That's who I picked. Right. And then the cornerback that was available was it was, hold on, I gotta put it out now. It is right here. Okay. This is how I did it. Like my wide receiver was either Chris Bell, Surratt, or Zachariah Branch. My corner that I took, because I didn't trade anything, the corner that I took was Keontae Scott from Miami. Keontae Scott from Miami. And then my third pick at 114, I took an offensive player. I took Brian Parker II. That was an A. All of these was A's. It was an A plus. It was A plus for Chris Bell, A plus for Keontae Scott, A plus for Brian Parker II, and then my 195 pick, I picked the tight end. I picked a Josh Cuevas from Alabama. They tight end for Alabama. That got me an A plus. That got me an A plus. Or I did another one before when I took Albert Regis. Is that D line from Texas A&M. I got an A plus for that too. And then my last pick, I always had Eric. Eric Rivers from Georgia Tech. He was like my last choice. He was the best option right there. Yeah, he was the best option. Eric Rivers from Georgia Tech. Because I felt like my one was Zachariah Branch. It was Zachariah Branch, Keontae, Davison Igwa Bison, the cornerback from Ohio State, and then Cole Brevard, the defensive line from Texas, and then Eric Rivers, of course, from Georgia Tech, the little small guy who's really fast. And I think Mike had did not Mad Mike, but Coach Unchained did like a little thing about him when he talked about him from Georgia Tech. So yeah, I really think got to get one of the best run stoppers. Yeah, we have to get, like, if we go D line, our first pick, and this is the thing. When it comes to run stoppers and stuff like that, it's a lot of people. Because you got to think about it. Our D line was okay. It's just we couldn't stop the run. So I really think we should go veteran. That's what I said. On the D line, I think we should go veteran. And that's when, like, somebody like an Onion Mata, you can re-sign an Onion Mata. And then pair him with somebody else. We signed him to be assistant. Okay. Nose tackle is our number one need. Okay. On the D line, nose tackle is our number one need. So then you think about it like this. Would you on our D line, our defensive line, do you think we need a veteran nose tackle or a rookie nose tackle? Rookie doesn't always mean bad. It just means younger, a little bit inexperienced, still can be coached up. But if you get somebody that's a plug and play, somebody like, Xavier Watts, because you got to think about it. Xavier Watts was a rookie. Billy Bowman was a rookie. JPJ was a rookie. Jalen Walker was a rookie. So, we need some linebackers as well. I think when it comes to linebackers, We just re-signed another Diablo, Divine Diablo. Because when he was healthy, when he was pushing the pocket, I was like, whoa, when he was healthy. My boy was like, whoa, it was just that he was limited. Calais Campbell. Bringing back Calais Campbell again. He went down to Arizona, right? And then they're trying to send Kirk Cousins that way. People saying we should go try to get Kyler Murray. How y'all feel about that, Kyler Murray? I'm gonna be 100%. I don't care if it's Kyler Murray, Malik Willis. I don't really care who it is. As long as somebody that can get the job done while Michael Penix does what he needs to do. I think Michael Penix Jr. needs another shot. And I think he needs another shot with a well-rounded offensively minded, a team of coaches that know what the fuck they doing. And I mean that. And I think he was just in a situation where I really think, honestly, in my heart of hearts, I mean, everything plays out for a reason, but I really think he was put in there a little bit prematurely. But, that's just me. Calais Campbell, do I think we should get Calais? That's who that is, right? Calais Campbell, right? I mean, if he come back, he can come back one day. When I met him, like I said, I met that man. and when you see these guys on the field, they don't look like they giants like you think. But when I met Calais Campbell, this dude was like, I looked up like, you want an autograph? I was about to say, hell no, you big Jolly Green giant ass nigga. What the fuck? Like, but I was like, nah, I was like, yeah, I wanna, my boy. Sign my, when I got Jesse Bates to sign my football and Calais Campbell sign my football. I really need Calais Campbell to sign my jersey. I do have a jersey, a Calais Campbell jersey, that if he come back, and that's who we talking about, I need him to sign that jersey because that's the same jersey he wore, the same replica jersey that he wore when he got his 100 sacks. I need him to sign it and then put 100 sacks on it, and then I'm gonna put it on my wall. Diablo here next season is who's a free agent. Okay, yeah, Diablo had two. Okay, cool. So Diablo here, restructure Diablo. Well, give him another year, see what he's gonna do. Sign Caden Ellis. He was a leader of the defense. He was a leader and he was a tackling machine. Just don't put him in situations where he had to cover. He cannot cover. He cannot cover at all. That's not his job. If Michael Penix Jr. is still on a healing journey by OTAs, then I'm favoring for Jacoby Brissett. Yeah, absolutely. Jacoby Brissett, came off in New England. He's been bounced around a little bit too, but Brissett was decent. Brissett, he's serviceable. Yeah, Brissett is serviceable, man. Can make all the throws. Got a little legs on him. He'll take off if he needs to. That's what people want, right? They want the Michael Vick experience, regardless of what. You got to have a black guy that can run. Who like they want this Michael Vick experience so bad, Yeah, Jacoby Brissett is straight. Like I said, Michael Penix. I think next year if we got somebody next year, I think, and then like I said, this new coaching regime might be like we're not really, or they might be like, hey, he does have an arm talent, and then because like I said, he's still a young dude. He just had to go through the growing pains, man. Even if he had to sit behind somebody a couple of years and it creates his development. I don't know why they be thinking somebody sitting behind there and they're like, he's so old. It's like, but he's not used up though. This man ain't been throwing like that to be like, oh, he ain't got no throwing on. You know what I'm saying? He got to get his legs together, get his footwork in the pocket. All that's development. Matt Ryan didn't have the best legs either. But guess what he did? And when it was a couple of times, he took off. Like I said, everybody just want to see this Michael. They want this Michael Vick experience so bad again. It's crazy. What's happening? What's happening, my guy? Oh man, we chilling, man. We at the very last minute. Like I said, I want to give y'all an hour of this, man. So it's just really just understanding like what do we bring in, who do we cut. Mike Hughes is gone. Cut Mike Hughes. Let him go. Mike Hughes is gone. Clark Phillips is gone. They said Charlie Warner is gone. If we're gonna move Charlie Warner out the way for Njoku, keep Kyle Pitts, tag him. Um, Darnell Mooney, he can go. If you don't just cut Mooney, trade him for some pieces. Trade him for some pieces, and you know he doesn't have a wait. I think he's like 8 million or something like that, close to it. Cut him, you don't pay him. Trade him, you get stuff. Algier. I think Algier is just better serviceable as he's a surefire number one. So he just need to. He's number one potential. We just used him as a. I think we need to go ahead and get a fullback. Bring a fullback in here. You remember when fullbacks we used to be the blockers and not the tight ends? Like not really the fullback. In a split back situation, the fullback was the lead blocker in situations where. So this, Braylon Trice cut Troy Anderson. You gotta remember, you can get serviceable Bertrand. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Bertrand. They had him in situations where it wasn't favorable at all for him. It's a lot that can happen, man. It's all about Stefanski sitting down with Matt Ryan and Ian Cunningham, and they say, "Hey, let's look at these guys. Give me the tape. Give me all the tape you got on this person. Give me all the tape you got on this person. Give me all the tape." Because the first things first, they got to deal with this this JPJ situation where they're gonna look, okay, we gotta let this guy go. And a lot of people are like, oh man, if they don't cut JPJ off, I don't want to. I'm not gonna support this team. Hell, y'all was getting ready to give up on a team for losing. Y'all was getting ready to boycott the Falcons. So, damn if you do, damn if you don't. Correct. Yeah, I think it's just too much on JPJ for him to return. So, I really think not really just having to finding his replacement. It's more so like really understanding like, okay, where were we without him? And like I said, 10.5 sacks for one guy, awesome. But if you can get two guys to give you 5 and 5, it's like a great Jerry situation. Like I get it, he's a youngin, and you like, damn, bro, he just threw his career away. But how it works is, if we can get two guys to give us his same production, we don't require one guy to give us 10 sacks. But we love to have a person to have 10 sacks. Like so that would mean like somebody like Ebiketie, because Ebiketie, he had a sneaky good season. He was our sack leader a couple of years back. So, what you think about the Falcons bringing in Anthony Richardson in trade? He's only 23 years old, 6'4", 245, strong arm. He's asking the coach to trade him. Well, the good thing about that is you got Matt Ryan, who has a lineage. He has connections over that way. And anybody from if we go get an Anthony Richardson, Then we have to get Pierce as well. Pierce from the Colts? Yeah, I think Pierce. Pierce was decent too. Pierce was decent too. Don't slip on Pierce. Pierce was decent too. Um, Anthony Richardson. I mean, the fans are like another like black guy who can run and also can throw. Michael Vick experience. Yeah, I believe so. And I think he was sat down too, right? When he sat down, like somebody took over his spot. So when it's like that, but see, this is the thing. If you're gonna trade for somebody like him, you're gonna have to give up a draft pick, and it might be a future first round. Because in the 2027, they say the 2027 they're gonna have some stout quarterbacks in that draft. So, it's interesting. It's interesting. Yeah, people talking about some gets Shador go. I'm like, bro, what are we doing? We need to get a team, build a team that can produce wins, not build a team based off of people you like. Period. But like I said, hey, it's that time of the show when I say thank y'all for pulling up at the show for your boy. Appreciate you. Like I said, I don't have a problem with Anthony Richardson if he's gonna be serviceable. Like if we go pick him up, like if we trade for him, then we're looking at him like he's our future. He's the next 5 to 6 year quarterback. Because you ain't trading for somebody you're gonna use for a couple of. He's the man of the trade, so he's moving in a different direction. He the man of the trade. He knew the team was moving in a different direction. Yeah, so he might be cheaper to get. Peace out, my boy. Like he might be cheaper to get. There's nothing wrong with that. Because last I checked, he was doing good. Like I said, what somebody does, like he might relish in an opportunity somewhere elsewhere. Look at Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold has a Super Bowl ring. He was passed around to 4 different teams before he got one with the Seahawks and won a ring. He got one before a lot of the heavy hitters. Allen, Lamar. And I think they came from the same draft class. If we're gonna trade for somebody, why not Joe Milton from Cowboys? Like, I mean, we might well start trying to build super teams like the Eagles. Build a super team. Keep a Kyle Pitts. Bring a Pickens over. If we get rid of somebody like Mooney, Clark Phillips, Mike Hughes, Warner, restructure some contracts, we can get a Pickens. But Pickens, he come with a price. My boy was looking better than the CeeDee Lamb for a minute. So he gonna come with a tag. He gonna come with a price tag. He gonna be taxing. But that's what I'm saying. We don't need really big names. We have a Drake London. We have a Kyle Pitts. We have a Bijan Robinson. We need more Cowboys backup QB. Yeah. Hey y'all, what's happening? Yeah, I mean, whatever's needed, man. Like what it is, like I said, some people are relish. The purpose of a coach is to bring out the best in a player and let them buy in the vision and the scheme that fit. A lot of people might not fit the criteria of what they want. Saying everybody looking for a mobile quarterback and they want to just get a pocket passing quarterback that knows how to, step into their throws, move around in the pocket, doesn't necessarily have to be mobile. He just has to be, hey, what's happening? He just has to be somebody that that could command the offense. A lot of the times it's because if we're gonna go rookie, like I said, are we trying to get like, are we looking at Michael Penix as he's gonna be like a backup, or because he can still be a serviceable backup? He might be, if he had to sit down for 2 years, if he had to sit down for 3. Or they might say, hey, let's just get somebody that's on a veteran that we can teach up, or a veteran that we can that can buy into what our vision is. Because if we get like a Richardson or somebody like that, or we get somebody young, then we're looking at that young player like somebody that we're gonna have for several different years. So it can't be somebody we're gonna have for several different years. And if we do, or they might be like, hey, we just need somebody just to get us through this year, and then we're gonna be looking into the draft next year, which is gonna have some decent quarterbacks in that year, in that draft, and then still keep a Michael Penix as a serviceable backup, or he gets his opportunity while they're still teaching up the person that they're gonna look at as the franchise quarterback. That can be the possibility too. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot of different scenarios. And I think when it comes to Michael Penix, they could have even told him like, "Hey, man, if you're not healthy enough, we're gonna have to move in and move in a different direction." And he probably had to sound off, people calling this man Mr. Glass and all that shit. So really, like I said, I really want this man to get another opportunity. I mean, another opportunity. It's almost like how I felt about Ritter when they brought all these other people in, and I felt like Ritter just didn't have a nucleus of coaches around him. And if you think about it, the only other person that really had a good regime of coaches around them, it was the time we went to the Super Bowl. It was Chandler, and then it was Matt Ryan when they had actual coaches like that Matt Ryan team. Like we had people that was Matt Ryan had a super team, they had the monsters on the Falcons side. It was kind of baffling in that we went against the GOAT. That's what they say. But besides that, like I said, I appreciate everybody for stopping by. Come and see your boy the Lochness. Appreciate. Like I say, go check out everybody that's representing the brand, that's representing the red and black. Tell them the Lochness sent you. If you haven't followed me, go to the Lochness Podcast on YouTube. That's the Lochness Podcast on YouTube. Sub, hit the notification bell, thumbs up, leave a comment, share it out. All the same. Like I say, check out everybody that's doing Falcon content. Like I say, they can be the next collaborator on my show or many other shows. And like I said, I took over the spot for the Lady Birds for the time they're not gonna do a show. I'm gonna pull up early, and hopefully, I might come back with another show tomorrow. Like I said, that's gonna be either Tuesday and Thursday, or Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or some breaking news come out, or a topic pull up. Like I said, I want to dissect the coaches. I want to dissect the coaches in what I believe and my understanding of what each coach is going to bring to the table. Because, like I said before, we have a new setup here. We have new coaches. We got a new regime. It's all different. So, the one way we thinking that we want it this way, it might come out a totally different way. So, just understanding that, hey, it's our time, man. It's our time. Until then, your boy is gonna be out. But tune in to me or anything AL fan, Man My Sports. Everybody, like I said, tune in to everybody that's doing their thing for the squad, man. Until then, I'm out.